Wouldn't it be great if someone would just walk you through exactly what you needed to do in order to move up to the executive ranks? I'm gonna do that now. In this video, I'm gonna walk you through everything you need to know to go from mid-career professional to the executive level without playing politics, without being manipulative or dishonest, and without shameless self-promotion tactics. This framework is the core of the process that we have used to help hundreds of mid-career professionals move upwards in their executive career journey. It was developed and fine-tuned by multiple coaches, executive recruiters, and real-world executive leaders. And it's helped hundreds of good people land executive jobs after being stuck for years. Like Lewis, who was laid off from his director level role, but in 30 days working with us, he wound up with 3 interviews and ultimately became the vice president of a space tech company. Or Rebecca, who had been stuck at the senior manager level at a Fortune 10 tech company for years, and is now getting promoted with ease and even building her own consulting business on the side. Or Bill, who had been languishing at the director level for 5 years in a company that he really loves. And 6 months later, after working with us, he was finally promoted to vice president. And several others who've had other kinds of successes, especially around building executive presence, leadership skills, and a powerful network. Like Brett, who said he made more last year than he did in his previous 2 years combined. And he attributes that financial success to becoming the man that he knew he could become thanks to the help of this framework. Or Ash, who told us that this program and framework helped save his marriage as well as his career by helping him become the self-confident leader that he knew he could become. Or Joe, who was already running a successful business but just didn't know how to lead his team with empathy. And Kelly, whose CEO told her that he's seen an incredible improvement in her executive presence. And Starsky, who now has a podcast and weekly drops incredible knowledge that his leadership team requires the entire team in the organization to absorb. All of these people are just like you and me. They just leaned into the framework I'm about to walk you through. And they bought into the process, and the results speak for themselves. Now, I wish I could go back 15 years in my executive career journey and apply all of the lessons in this framework I'm about to teach you. Just watching this video alone would have saved me countless mistakes and missteps I made in my early executive career. So grab a pen and paper and take notes, because hopefully you'll find a ton of value in today's video. And also, if this video is helpful to you, I'd love it if you would leave a like on the video. And if you want additional guidance on how to move forward in your executive career, consider subscribing to our channel. Both of these help a ton to get our message out to more people who need this kind of information. Look, I get it. You're probably a star professional. You know how to do your job extremely well, and you have the experience and the desire to become a business leader. But I got to tell you, what got you here will not get you there. When I began my executive career journey 15 years ago, I felt the way you probably feel right now. I was frustrated. I was tired of watching lesser qualified people get promoted faster than me. And I wasn't getting any callbacks from resumes that I was submitting to job applications on LinkedIn, even though I was highly qualified for the roles. And mostly I was tired of being told, hey, you're doing just great. Don't change a thing. And then seeing nothing happen in my career. And finally, I was annoyed with the threat of layoffs that seemed to happen every year. And I was this way until I finally learned the right way to build my executive career. And that's what I want to show you. So this framework is for people at the mid-manager level in their career, or possibly high-level individual contributors like senior architects who want to understand how to break through that glass ceiling that's seemingly holding them down in their current roles. And maybe you're at a crossroads in your career and you don't quite know what to do next or how to move forward. Maybe you've been looking online for executive roles and just not finding very many and not getting any callbacks from blasting out your resume. Maybe you know you need to gain new skills, but you're just not sure which ones. And maybe you're ready to invest in yourself, but you don't want to make an investment that you're not going to get a payoff from. Should you get an MBA, another professional certification, something else? What's going to do the trick? If that sounds like you, then you're in the right place. Now, this framework is not for you if you're someone who likes to use manipulation tactics or play office politics. There are 2 ways to the top. I teach the way that helps you lift everyone up around you as opposed to suppressing everyone around you. And honestly, what we teach is better than playing office politics. Because if you're the right kind of person, you'll be wired to be an amazing leader. So who am I to teach this to you? Well, my name is Tom Cox, and I'm the founder of Vertical Motion, where we help good people become great leaders. I have 15 years of real-world experience as an executive. I'm not just some recruiter teaching you LinkedIn hacks, although we do have executive recruiters in the program. We teach you real-world practical skills and mindsets that you can implement immediately. I've started and led 2 venture-backed companies, and I've also been an executive leader in publicly traded organizations, having closed more than $1.5 billion in contracts in my career. None of my executive roles were ever found online, and 4 of my executive roles were created specifically for me. I'm also a U.S. Army veteran, and I learned a lot about leadership from my service. But I wasn't always destined to be on your screen in this video. Back in 2022, I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, and I was given weeks to live. Now, filling out a last will and testament when it's not an academic exercise, well, it really crystallized for me in my mind just how fragile life is and how fast it can all be gone. I promised myself if I beat leukemia, I would leave my career and go do something that I believed in. I wanted to spend the rest of my life, whether that was 6 weeks or 6 decades, doing something that I love, something that I'm good at, something I can be paid for, and something the world desperately needs. For me, that became teaching good people how to become great leaders. So while I was still hooked up to the chemo pump, I started coaching some friends and then ultimately a handful of clients. And then in early 2023, I had amazing news. I was in complete remission and I was able to ring the bell. And I had a new direction in my life and my career. I formed Vertical Motion while I was still in treatment. And now we've built it into an incredible community and coaching system that has helped hundreds of good people become the great leaders they know they can become. Nothing lights me up more than seeing a good person become a confident, decisive, and prepared leader. But enough about me. Let's get into the challenges that you're facing in your executive career journey. Let's play a little game of true or false. True or false? Executive roles are just higher level manager roles. Well, this is false because executives do so much more than what managers do. Now, executives do manage, but they also do so much more. They have so many more responsibilities. True or false? Working really hard will get you promoted into the executive ranks. And this is false. In fact, working really hard where you're doing the work of 3 or 4 people, that actually can get you stuck in your career because it's almost impossible for them to justify them promoting you out of that role because you're saving them so much money. True or false? You need an MBA or several professional certifications to become an executive. This is also false. I know several executives without even college degrees, let alone MBAs or any certifications, who are amazing CEOs and CXOs. True or false? Very few executive roles are ever found on LinkedIn. This is true. More than 70% of all executive roles are never posted online, and some research has that number as high as 90%. And it makes sense because most executive roles are tailored to the executive. Bet you didn't know that. True or false? There's no structured way to learn how to become an executive. That is false. It used to be true, but now there are some amazing coaching programs like the one that we run that help mid-career professionals understand how to move up. True or false? It takes decades to get to the executive level. That is false. I know several 20-something C-suite executives. I know several 30-something C-suite executives. And as long as you demonstrate executive skills, you can move up a lot faster than you think. And finally, true or false? If you're a good manager, well, you'll be a good executive too. And the answer here is maybe. It's true that if you're a good manager, you probably have a lot of great skills, but executive skills are different. And it's important to understand the difference between the two. So once again, I'll say, what got you here in your career will not get you there. All of these things worked in our early career, but they don't work at the executive level. So how are you supposed to get promoted into the executive ranks? Let me show you a framework that has helped hundreds of people do just that. And this framework works in every industry: finance, tech, consumer, services, oil and gas, you name it. Because leadership and executive skills transcend industry. And it's also a very different framework than anything you might have seen before. And it's because we figured out one really important component that most people haven't. And that's where we're going to start with your executive career journey, learning how to align your life purpose with your next role. So this diagram right here is what we call the whole executive framework. It's a framework to help you become a complete executive leader. Now, it looks a little complicated at first, but let me walk you through how this works. So if you look at the bottom half of this framework, you'll see a red and orange section. The red section is called foundations, and this is the basis of who you are and understanding what kind of person and what kind of leader you are. And then right above that, we stack new skills, executive skills, onto this foundation. So this is the base of your framework. Now, the top part is a funnel. And if you think about it, there's marketing and sales. We have network activation, and then we have interviewing and negotiation. And that's a little bit like marketing and sales, if you think about it. And finally, the foundation and the funnel meet at your first 90 days in a new executive role where you apply all of the skills that you've learned. So let's go into this with a little bit more detail. In the first part of the framework, we call this foundations. And what we're doing here is really getting to understand you as a human being, as an individual, as a person. What do you stand for? What do you believe in? We're really trying to figure out who you are, who you want to become, and how you want to get there. And I find it incredibly important to align your career with your life purpose. And so if you've never understood your life purpose, this is a great way to figure that out. You use all of this information to build your career roadmap and build your personal executive brand, which is the thing that people say about you when you're not in a room. And this is really all about just understanding your core identity. Because I believe that in order to be a great leader, you have to be self-confident, intrinsically confident. You have to believe in yourself. And if you don't know yourself, how can you believe in yourself? Now, from here, we move up into the next section, which is executive skills. And this is where we're building skills like executive presence, which is how you show up, executive communication skills, executive management skills, M&A, finance, strategy, all of the things that executives just seem to know and they seem to have picked up along the way. We're going to show you all of those things, and we're going to stack those skills on top of this understanding of who you are as an individual. Now, most executive programs that you will find will start here at Module 3. They won't even do these first two things, but we find it incredibly important to be able to build your self-confidence, your presence, and your skills while also activating your network at the same time. We like to say that network activation is becoming the CEO of you Inc. And if you think about it, each of us makes money by working with one customer, our employer. They pay us through W-2, but they're a customer and we're a vendor and we're providing services to them. Now, when they lay us off or they let us go, we have to spin up quickly our marketing and sales departments in order to go find another job. Well, imagine if you had a company that just had marketing and sales like that. Could you imagine a company just turning on marketing and sales when their one customer decides to not pay them anymore? That wouldn't make any sense. And it doesn't for your career either. So we teach you how to become the CEO of You Inc. and staff your marketing and sales departments regularly. This is all about refining and launching your executive brand, both online and in real life, both externally and inside the organization you work in now. We do this by helping you become a thought leader that other people learn to respect and admire. And we teach you how to use LinkedIn the right way. LinkedIn is a social media platform, but it's less like Facebook and more like Amazon. And you are the product. So you have to learn how to market yourself to the executive recruiters and hiring managers that are looking for star executive talent. And all of this is about creating clear and consistent outreach. From there, the framework teaches you how to interview and negotiate for your roles. This is the sales side of the funnel. So once you have an opportunity, we want you to go into that interview with incredible confidence. And we have a training in this program that I love. It's called God Mode Interviewing, and it helps you show up for an interview with just the right energy. We show you how to prepare and have a presentation ready for your executive interview. We show you how to build momentum in the interviewing process. We help you understand executive compensation, which is far more multifaceted than compensation in the professional ranks. And finally, we help you negotiate the compensation package that you deserve. And so finally, this base and this funnel, they all meet in the middle in the first 90 days. And this is important. This is also something you won't find in most executive coaching programs. The first 90 days are critical to your long-term success in your new role. We show you what to do before you start, on the day you start, and the first 30, 60, and 90 days in your new role. We want to make sure that you don't backslide into previous mindsets and behaviors. And you get the momentum and the quick wins you need to demonstrate that you were a really good hire. And once you've completed your first 90 days in your new executive role, it's time to reinvest in yourself. Go through foundations again. Go through building out your funnel again. Go through getting opportunities in front of you and helping yourself become a better leader and continuously refine your career so that it's more in alignment with your life purpose as you move forward. So these 5 steps of the whole executive framework map directly to a program that we've created called the Executive Career Accelerator. And we've built this program from the ground up based on our experience and knowledge and all the things that we talked about. And it looks nothing like other executive programs you might find because we do so much more to make you a whole executive, a whole leader. This is a 6-month program that will meet you where you are in your journey. And we're going to teach you 6 years of executive experience in just 6 months. We're going to help you grow to that next level in your career, from high-level individual contributor or manager up to the director level, the VP level, and even beyond. We'll help you get clarity on your career trajectory and direction. And we give you a ton of skills, tools, coaching, and support in order to make that transformation actually happen. Now, some of the highlights of this program include the Foundations Report, which I find to be probably probably the most valuable thing in this entire program. The Foundations Report is a compass and a mirror. It's designed to help you understand who you are and where you should go. The mirror is reflecting several psychometric assessments that we take, and the compass is, now that we know this about ourselves, where do we go from here? There's also a streamlined course that's designed to go through very quickly. Also, a vault of incredible content that goes very deep in specific situations. There are executive recruiters who help you with your brand, your LinkedIn, your resume, your interviewing, and your negotiations. And there's also vertical motion certified coaches who are trained to teach and mentor you on how to implement these real world executive skills. There's an amazing community, hundreds of mid-career professionals who have become or are becoming executives right now. And we have several weekly acceleration calls where you can join in and learn something specific that you need in order to take the next step in your journey. And finally, there's a mastermind program that you can join once you reach the level of vice president. So the Executive Career Accelerator is a program that involves a course and coaching. And coaching is something that not a lot of mid-career professionals have ever seen before. You might think of coaching from like your high school football coach or your high school soccer coach. But if you think about it, even high-performing athletes need coaches to help get the most out of them. And at the executive level, you will work with coaches who help you become a better executive. We are the first step towards learning how to use executive coaching effectively. And getting the right coaching really matters. You need to resonate with your coaching and with your community. Now, in our program, we focus on people who are authentic, empathetic, and audacious. Authenticity is important because you need to know who you are. Empathy is important because you need to understand how to communicate and understand other people. And audacity is important because we want to work with people who want to build great things. And to build great things, you need to build great teams who build great things. So we teach leadership, not manipulation. We don't play office politics. We believe that the best leaders are the people who are like a high tide that rises all the boats around them. Those people tend to float upwards. They get tapped on the shoulder for their next role. So if you want to learn more about the Executive Career Accelerator program that implements this whole executive framework, the next step is to click the link down below this video where you'll fill in a short application. Now, not everybody qualifies for this program, and we have to make sure that we screen for the right people. Once you fill in that application, you'll book a call with one of our discovery coaches. Their job is to figure out exactly what you need and if what we offer fits that. And if it does, then they'll build out a custom plan for you that specifically lays out where you should go next, how you should work with us or with someone else. And I promise you, you will get some value from that call, even if you wind up not joining us. And after you book that call, you'll gain access to a very short video that will just help you prepare for that discovery call with a little bit more information. So I hope this video was helpful to you. We walked through the whole executive framework and the Executive Career Accelerator, which helps you implement that framework. I hope you'll take the next step, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video shortly.